So I want to take you back in time to the frozen Midwest. It's 1985. I'm 9 years old. It's Christmas. And my heroes are the real American heroes, G.I. Joe. For those of you who are under 30, G.I. Joe was a cartoon show that they put on Saturday mornings. That's when the cartoons were. And G.I. Joe was this secret counterintelligence paramilitary force that would fight the villainous Cobra, who was like this evil terrorist organization trying to bring down the world, right? And so my brother and I in Michigan, we would watch G.I. Joe every Saturday morning. And G.I. Joe and Cobra would shoot these laser beams at each other. And they would never hit each other. They would just shoot the laser beams at each other. And we didn't realize that no one actually got shot on G.I. Joe because kids were watching, right? But kids were watching. And we didn't know at the time, but G.I. Joe the cartoon wasn't really a cartoon. It was G.I. Joe the commercial for the G.I. Joe toys. And it worked on us beautifully. Every week, we saw a G.I. Joe toy we wanted. We wanted the G.I. Joe airplane and the G.I. Joe motorcycle. There was a G.I. Joe named Sewer Rat. That was his code name. And he went around in a tank that for underground tank warfare, very important for G.I. Joe. And they called it the septic tank. Google this. It is real. And so we asked for and received the septic tank. My parents thought it was hilarious. And so we had the plane, we had the tank. But we did not have the holy grail of G.I. Joe toys, the one toy that every kid wanted that Christmas. And that was the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. 7.5 feet long, this aircraft carrier. You could land the G.I. Joe plane on the aircraft carrier. It had an electronic PA system you could speak through, and it would amplify your voice, which was the worst idea for a 9-year-old and 11-year-old. So, of course, we wanted it with all of our heart. And we said, Mom, Dad, please, we don't want any other toys. We don't want any other Christmases. We just want this aircraft carrier. Please. And our parents looked at us and said, what are you, stupid? No, they didn't say that. They said, look, no one can find this toy. This is the toy that flies off the shelves. And this was before the internet, so you couldn't really find it in toy stores. You couldn't look online to find out where it was. So they're like, yeah, we know your friends say they saw it at Toys R Us or whatever, but your friends, they're liars. It's not out there. Sorry. And also, it's expensive. It was $100 back in 1985, which means it was probably about $10,000 now. And they're like, we're trying to make Christmas a little more modest. Please don't do this to us. And we said, no, we still want it. And they said, look, what are we going to do? So my brother and I left that conversation around Thanksgiving, and we engaged in our Christmas time ritual, which was our own G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, counterintelligence operation by which we scoured the house to try to discover what our Christmas presents were. And we were total G.I. Joe about this. We would go through papers. We would intercept phone transmissions by listening in on the phone. That's, for those of you under 30, that's how you used to be able to listen to telephone conversations, by picking up the receiver in a home phone. Phones used to be at home. Anyway, so we would listen in on phone conversations. We would try to find the Christmas budget in my mom's papers. We would hide behind the couch when our parents were talking just to see if they would talk about presents. And of course, we did the usual kid thing where we'd go look in the back of closets or the attic to try to find our presents. And we were pretty successful this year, the way we were most years. We had a pretty good idea come Christmas Eve, 1985, what we were going to get for Christmas. And so we looked underneath the tree, we saw the presents, and we thought, yeah, that's the sweater, that's the book. We got this. No problem. So it's Christmas Eve. I'm 9 years old. So I go to bed at about 2:30 in the morning. And I wake up 4:30 in the morning. I run downstairs. We open up our presents, and my brother and I are done opening presents, and it's a great Christmas. It always is. And we thought, man, there was some receipts and some budget items that we saw in our intelligence gathering that we didn't see under the tree. They're like, maybe they were saving it for a birthday or something. I don't know. We eat our pancakes Christmas morning, and our dad says, oh, yeah, there's one more present downstairs. I forgot. Go check it out. We run downstairs. I hit the landing. I look out. There it is. The G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. All 7.5 feet of it assembled with the plane on it, with all of our G.I. Joe Real American Heroes on it. And my first thought is, oh no, our counterintelligence operation is blown. Our parents were onto us and planted false information to throw us off. My second thought was, how did they do that? How did they find it at Toys R Us when it wasn't available? How did they get it in the house and keep it from us? Then how did they get it downstairs? How'd they put it together during the 120 minutes that we slept on Christmas? How did they do that? It was like Christmas magic that we always tried to destroy by trying to find out our presents. And so I never found out because I never asked them. My parents passed away a couple years ago, and I never asked them because I wanted that Christmas magic to stay. Because I figured, you know, look, like, if you can give a kid that kind of Christmas magic, these days in particular, then you don't need G.I. Joe. You're the real American hero. Thanks.